Hello, we're back for another week of integration, three-way integration. Does anyone want to explain why we're back?
Well, I guess um, we're taking on these different perspectives to like learn about how we are every perspective and come out of our own perspective to we'll understand our own perspective and understand that the other perspectives that are present are also ourselves too,
Yeah,
a
equally
different facet.
ourselves. Yeah.
Equally.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
it's not like, yes, to see the separateness, but also to see equally how it's oneness. Like
Mhm.
you have that exactly in me, and I have that exactly in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I guess from the last session, following that, we kind of both all had different realizations following it that whatever perspective we had during the integration, I know for me, I started to feel the next days how there was more from Sylvia's perspective that was present in me that I had to look at more.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then um you actually were able to catch that within yourself, you said, and were able to easily identify what that feeling state was, right?
Hmm. So should we review what was the perspectives again?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I was the neutral perspective.
Mhm.
Sylvia, you were the one who.
Polarized part, one part that believed, um, oh, that was jealous of Kristen's part that she took on of abundantly having her desires manifested. And I was actually the opposite collective part of the part that felt like it couldn't for itself. Yeah.
The powerless, angry part.
Hmm. Angry, jealous, can't help but to feel it, even though I don't want to be jealous because I care for my friend. I shouldn't be feeling this way, but I can't. It was all about, in the end, we discovered that it was like, I can't help but to feel it. I don't even like it, but I can't help it but to
Hmm.
feel it. Yeah.
Hmm. And I don't have what she has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or feeling like I can't get it.
I
Like
can't
I
have what
can't
she
have it.
has.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
It hurts me more that she has it, or it hurts me more that I don't have it because she highlights the fact of her having it that I don't have it. And I can't help feeling even worse about myself.
yeah, but then also receiving like from everyone that that part was the bad part. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Yeah.
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 And
And
then mine
then
was the fulfilled and being seen, right?
yeah.
Is that the words we used?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And and then figuring it out how that part collectively was also portraying the shadow was you're also like figuring out how um it was also contributing to the part that felt like it couldn't have it, that you are in the wrong.
Hmm.
Or some,
Yeah.
what was it? Something like that, right?
Basically, yeah, like not even wanting the fulfillment or being seen anymore because it was so upsetting to
Yeah.
see my friend upset. So, like, I can't help but feel that.
Yeah. And you sacrificing your desires because it was hurting
Yes.
too much to know that I was being hurt, or like that collective part was being hurt.
Yeah.
And then that collective part feeling upset, like that contributes to validating that I am wrong, because that part felt like you should be sticking up for yourself of what you manifested. and then figuring out how that wasn't being helpful to both parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then through that, after that integration and then becoming my neutral human self, but I still feel like somehow the collective energy of what we worked on together 3 ways was still activated, but needed time to kind of process it. And in that processing, recognizing, oh, wait, we didn't fully surrender to seeing the oneness of each other. And then we all just kind of had our own conversations to recognize that. And therefore, that is why we're all here today to do another layer. So the first integration of the 3-way helped us to get into the second integration. And if we all were to surrender in that moment to fully see each other as one, we wouldn't need this integration today. But we recognize, oh, we didn't fully complete it. So we're going to see it again through a different perspective. And that perspective of a 3-way integration, we thought would be one person taking on the neutral, and then 2 polarized perspectives of one seeing the oneness, and the opposite is not feeling like it could see the oneness. Yeah. It's like the same energy, but through a different perspective. Yeah. So we decided this might be a little bit more of a like powerful integration to just go to that root of, yeah, no, I do see the oneness, and the other part's like, no, I don't want it, or something like that. But we don't know yet, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Should we all reveal which parts we're going to take on today? Kristen, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm the neutral perspective,
Yep.
holding both polarized perspectives.
Okay. And Kwonyin?
And I'll be the part that is resisting seeing the oneness.
And I will be taking on the part that does see the oneness of the collective. Yeah. And we decide to take on this role so that we can take on a different perspective this time around for the collective of each other. Yeah. And if we do need a third one, we'll have a third integration. If we need a fourth one, we will, until we see, because we're all on the same page of wanting to see the oneness of each other. Yeah. So whether it's just, we just need this one or a bit more, we've all decided we do want to see it. So we're going to basically manifest that desire. And I guess you're invited to witness us along the journey. Should we get started? Okay. So, oh, sorry. I'll be joining.
Will I, Kwonyin, fully take on the part of myself and the collective, of the part that can't or doesn't want to see the oneness in all people.
And I, Sylvia, with my free will, take on the part of Kristen, myself, and Kwonyin, as well as the collective that does see the oneness of everything.
Well, immediately I feel like I'm just kind of like withdrawn into feeling very distant and separate, and like protective of myself. protecting myself from threat and danger.
I feel like I see you and understand you, but that is not a way to approach you, because I also am aware that you will feel like I don't see you and understand you. So I feel like I'm at a distance, and allowing you to be you.
Even in your voice, I can hear that you don't really like. I just feel like you're in the light, and I can't be. Like, you're okay being in the light too, but I cannot because it's so dangerous.
It's so dangerous to be in the light. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying? Oh,
that's why I have to be very protective and withdrawn because
why is it dangerous for you to see oneness? Or why is it dangerous for you to
oh,
be oneness?
because I've created this home inside here in a place where no one can see. And like, if I were to include you, like, it would just destroy me.
Is it because you feel like you have no self?
No, it's because my only self, the only self I've like managed to keep is like here, safe, away from everyone, like in my protected place.
Mm.
And so if I were to include you or like take you in or something, it would just, like, you being in the light, you would shatter my safe place.
Are you basically saying you won't have your privacy?
No. And it feels like it's either me versus you.
Yeah, it feels like you're talking about black or white, but black and white
Yeah,
is
it can only
included.
be one or the other. And I only know how to live like separately like this.
But in the oneness, the black and white is included. The shadow and light is included. Like, I am shadow and light. I'm not just light.
It feels hard to trust that I really can be part of that because my whole existence was, I just feel like my whole existence
Mm.
is about not, is
I
about
see
just
what you're
me
saying.
fending for myself here in the only safety
Mm,
I know.
mm. It almost feels like, let me know if I'm wrong, but like even the shadow that I say, like I am light and dark, I feel like to you that dark is light. Is that true?
Yeah.
But I feel like you're a different kind of dark. Is
Mhm.
that true? Then what kind of shadow are you?
I feel that I am the pure dark.
What does that mean?
Like, that's all I know. That's all I am.
You mean like the negative of shadow?
Just all of it. It's like that is my home, my only place here, where I've created my home and safety.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want to mix light
No,
and shadow to come together. You just
no.
want to be dark shadow
Yeah.
and not to mix. Oh, okay.
Um,
What does it mean for you you were to have both in your life?
I just can't conceive of a reality where both you and I can actually be fulfilled. It's just,
Why? What is wrong about the light? The oneness that embraces both light and dark.
I guess, if I'm just by myself, then I'm okay with myself. But when I'm with you, I feel like in comparison, I feel inferior. So I just don't even want to have a basis for comparison. I'd rather just,
Think I know where you're at. You feel like you've been so used to being separate and alone
yeah,
that to you to combine means you lose yourself.
yeah,
But the actual reality is not that. The actual reality is when you combine the light and the dark, you become equal, not inferior. You're on the same, I guess, level. Like if kind of like what I don't know why this is coming up, but it feels like if I always ace the test and you always fail the test, to combine you and me together means you ace the test and I ace the test and we always ace the test. And if we fail the test, then we failed the test together to figure out why we failed the test to ace the test next time. Like there is no enemy between you and I. We do this together. Where I will hold equal space for you, you hold. Oh, that didn't sound right. It's like we both want to hold each other in that empowered state where not one is better or less. And I understand in society, love and being kind, and that's more of the light that is the A of the test, but it's not. The best kind of A is if we both see each other as the same. Like, I mean, different and the same at the same time, where we're both equally powerful and we're both equally like destructive. But helping each other to always be on the same page of working towards feeling good about who we are and not being enemies of each other.
I like that as a concept, but in actuality, it just still feels very threatening to my way of being.
Mm. I
Yeah.
see.
It feels like, and I also feel envy about why is it so easy for you to see it and why is it so hard for me to see it. So that feels
Because
like another like separation place.
I see.
Why it's so easy for you to want and wish for oneness and unity, and why is it
Because
so hard for me and troubled and like
because
threatening and scary?
I have you in me and I recognize you in me, where I don't deny that about me. I recognize if to I am you, but the only difference is I see the goodness in me and I see the empowerment that I have. if I am talking from your perspective, like if I am you, this is what I would be seeing is, oh, I see how empowering I am. I see how great I am. I see how loving and caring I am. But I also see how destructive I could be. I also see how negative I can be. I also see how positive I can be. And I also see how I could create separation. And I haven't become scared of being either or.
I think there might be a blind spot that I am observing with the shadow or the not oneness. There is a way to keep your individuality and the things that you love and also have harmony and oneness. Do you know that?
Not really.
No?
Because it seems like, yeah, my harmony was achieved through separation by
Yeah,
me just having solo harmony with myself.
yeah. Like you saw the goodness in being separated.
Hmm.
And I see why, because if it wasn't a good experience for you, why would you want to stay there? Wouldn't make sense.
Right.
So it feels like even if like neutral self of us and the oneness self of us sees it, I see how it is still hurtful to you because it's like we see it and you don't. And kind of like if you were to join us, I could see how you would feel like you wouldn't be, yeah, like you said, inferior. Like, could I be good enough? Because I feel like I can see it and they see it already.
Yeah. And I do feel like even just me needing so much help right now makes me feel inferior. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my God, see, I'm the trouble one
yeah,
because I'm just like not getting it. But I don't even feel like it's just not getting it. I do feel myself very stubborn.
yeah,
Yeah, like my resistance makes me really stubborn to like defend myself and like feel like
yeah.
I am right.
You are. I see what I did wrong, which is making you feel like I like seeing that, like trying to have you see that this is, like better in some sense, like indirectly.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be that way. It should be like, I want to see you. I clearly want to see your perspective and understand that fully.
Yeah.
So now I want to stop being me and I want to be you. But in order to be you, I need your help. Would you be willing to show me?
Oh, wait a second. I just got something about how if you are embracing oneness,
Mm-hmm.
then of course you have to get me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be fake.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what?
You'd be fake,
Yep. Yep.
which is kind of part of my fear. Like, no, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Oneness isn't real. Like there's only peace in my separation. There's only good things from separating.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
But the thing is, there is good in separation for you, but I see that I really want to understand you 100%. And I see that the only way to do that is to see through you.
mhm.
But then I see that that's not separation. Does that trigger you?
To see through me isn't separation.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, then I feel a little lost.
Seeing through your perspective, would you be okay if oneness did that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Neutral self, how do you feel about your parts in getting to know both of us?
Mm. I really
That is
like,
you.
yeah, I like hearing both of you flesh out your perspectives, but it is painful as the neutral observer because I feel the pain of the separation and I can see the solution, but I can also see the stubbornness and want to honor the stubbornness to not combine. So it's a little tricky.
Mm.
Um,
So do you feel nervous knowing that, like, we are you, we live inside of you?
it doesn't
Like,
make me nervous.
okay, good to know.
Oh,
Then the one that doesn't want to see oneness, are you okay?
well, I just realized that I'm stuck because I can't walk away to just be fully satisfied in my separation. Um, because even if I am having my version of peace, um, there's like, but I'm also sitting on top of just like extreme loneliness.
Mm. What is it like to be lonely like that, even though you have what you want?
Feels like never ending starvation. Um, so but it like makes me angry that really like I really have to the reason why I had to split off was because I'm so I don't know, I feel like betrayed by connections. But now it's like I'm feeling betrayal and loneliness and I'm stuck.
Well, I can tell you my honest truth is I haven't been in this perspective for a long time. I've also been split by just being the light or just being like you, just the shadow for most of my life. And it was not until long ago, most of my life, I was seeing this from separate perspectives. And it hasn't been that long since I've been seeing and living the oneness. Because I feel like if I wouldn't really be having this conversation with you as much. Like, actually, no. What am I saying? I take that back. I feel like I wouldn't be here knowing how to talk to you without triggering you and causing more separation. Like, it makes me sad because I know what it's like to be you. But now that I'm not there and I'm here, it still makes me sad because it really hurts. Because you are like a reflection of my past self. Of like, oh, this is what it's like. But being on this side, it's really hard to see you. It's really hard to see me. I really wish I could just give you a suit to wear, be like, there, now you see, right? I wish it was like that easy. But I know that it's not. But to me, it's worth every bit to keep coming back to you. To basically build the safety with you to the point where you actually want to see what I see. Never want to force you. And I realized in the past when I was separated, that did happen. So I see how I abused myself, and this is the outcome of it. So I'm also learning in this very moment with you how to be better at this perspective because you are showing me that by you being you.
Another element of this that makes me feel kind of like stubborn and powerless is I don't really know even how to be any other way.
It's not. I don't want you to be any other way. I just want you to know like, I just want to be here for you. You said you have what you want, but you feel so alone. And I could see that to be alone is not a feel-good state to be in. I don't have to know you to know that. I feel like I already know that because you remind me of my past self. And I remember how lonely that space is.
Do you feel alone, Kwonyin?
Yes, in this moment, no, which does feel different. Because I guess my loneliness really didn't really get attention from the inside.
And what does it feel like to be experiencing it now that
Yeah.
was different than before?
Well, before I kind of felt like I just needed to protect my walls. So there was like this kind of strain out into my perimeter.
Yeah.
But now it's almost like I have a different experience of this space where I feel like I'm just kind of more like relaxing from my center, not concerned with guarding my perimeter. I'm just more relaxing from my center.
I see.
Yeah.
How does that
Which
make
I
you
guess is
feel?
the opposite of what I thought I had to do.
Well, but I do see that that was your protection and how it helped you out. Does it scare you to feel something that you're not used to?
Yeah, I just kind of thought that what was being asked of me or what the desirable thing to do was like something so unattainable
Yeah.
from where I was. It was like something too out of reach, too hard, um, too like against my natural nature.
Yeah.
But now I'm experiencing something like yeah, it's like not a it wasn't it's not a hard thing.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
I see. Well, would you like to just stay in this new feeling state and to experience what it's like, whether it's positive or negative, and work through that together instead of alone?
Yeah.
whenever you feel like you want connection, I'll be here.
I feel I'm actually just really kind of this a little bit like sad and weak, and
Mm.
I'm at my center. And like when I relax into my center, I just find this place in me that's just kind of sad and weak. And
How does it make you feel to feel that?
like I just need some support.
What kind of support is it? Can you recognize how you want to be supported?
I just need like I think a lot of um, I just need like a lot of spaciousness to be how I am.
I see. How would you like to be?
Like I don't have to like defend myself. I don't have to be strong. I can just be like safe to feel like weak and helpless.
I see. That makes sense. Because if you don't feel safe doing that, I could see how it would be safer to retreat to what you have known so far by putting up a wall and separating yourself.
I think that's because I never felt safe to just be weak and helpless,
Yeah,
like not know
yeah.
what to do.
When you're in that place of weak and helpless and not know what to do, are you saying you don't want to quickly remedy that, but just allow yourself to just be that?
Yeah.
I see.
I think I
Because,
just need to know that I can be this way and feel safe to be this way. And I'm held in a space where I don't have to
yeah,
do
I,
anything.
you're right. Because usually when someone is portraying that desire, somewhere the other part feels like this doesn't make me feel good. Like the light. I can see how the light becomes threatening to you at that point, because the light would be wanting to make you feel good because it sees that that's what you deserve. And it could see the blind spot to the light of the light where it immediately wants to resolve it for you. But I see that that does not make you feel safe if the light keeps showing up like that. Like, oh, are you not feeling well? Okay, okay, well, like, what do you need? I'll go get it for you. Did I understand you?
Yeah. Like, um, it's, yeah, like something's wrong with me. I need to be fixed.
Yeah, And I
It's
see,
almost like the light being ashamed of me.
yeah, yeah. And I can admit that, yeah, the world that we live in, like we did to some degree, like accept and see that as good to do that to ourselves. And I have bought into that as well too, to the point where, yeah, sometimes it's hard to just let you be in that way. And I feel like I understand you, but I also feel like I could still learn from you. And if it's okay with you, go through that with you so that I am aware to how to hold space for you when you are wanting to be in that state. Or it can feel like a win-win for you and me. Would you be willing?
Yeah.
So as you are feeling weak in the state that you are, I want to give you exactly what you want, which is allowing you to feel safe to be you. So I guess on my part, I'm going to recognize you and see, oh, okay, I am feeling weak right now. Doesn't want to get better. It doesn't know why, but it just wants to lay down, I guess. So as I allow you to be safe in this container to be you, take all the time you want and need. And whenever you feel safe to share, what does it feel like to safely receive it?
Almost like it's such a pattern interrupt to have this space instead of what I had always known.
Yeah. Do you feel a clash
It's
between?
almost like it does feel like there's a clash, but it's like almost this like disbelief a little bit.
Yeah.
It's so different from what would normally happen.
Yeah. But it feels like you're sticking to it still.
Things that what?
Like I see you, even if you're experiencing the clash at the same time of your past ways of what you're used to versus this new experience. Feels like you're in this discomfort, but not giving up on feeling this weird state that you're in.
Yeah. I think the weird state is just like actually getting what I needed.
I see. So, I see you. I feel like this was the moment you were waiting for
God.
when you said you felt lonely, like you couldn't change to your desired state because no one was really there with you in that transition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you almost needed someone to be there.
No one's been with me in the transition.
Yeah.
That's why I felt like it was impossible.
Yeah. Because you couldn't
And
do
I
it
think
alone.
somewhere because I felt it was impossible, my only way to feel better about that or okay about that
Yeah.
is just to like completely
Say you don't need
like
it.
castrate that possibility as like it doesn't exist, it can't exist,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's something actually even bad.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And it feels a little bit like even embarrassing and awkward and vulnerable
Yeah.
to allow it right now
Yeah.
because I just so like disown this need because I didn't even know it was on the menu of things that I could have.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to get through this together. And I'm sorry I didn't and was not able to recognize this about you.
Say, I always had to fight for the little I had or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how that I could be soft or something. Right? That was never,
Yeah.
I could never do that when I was always fighting for
Yeah.
my life.
I can see how it would even cross your mind to ask for help.
You know,
Like that was something you just knew you shouldn't, or yeah, like to not go there or something.
mhm.
This makes me so happy. I can't even tell you to.
I don't know if
Thank
I
you.
feel like weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely feel different and better than where I was.
Yeah. I do feel, I don't think it's a trigger. I don't know what it is either, but I feel like I want to be more of what I am, which is embracing the light and the shadow. And I don't have, it's like, because I'm here doesn't mean I have all the answers. I still learn oneness through you and other parts of shadow and light. And in this moment, it feels weird, but now because I know that I am oneness, I also see that I am the light, the shadow, and the neutral self. And as I see that I am all of this, I feel like I want to understand my neutral self, which is your neutral self too. Like, I want to understand our neutral self because I see that you are the one that lives the life portraying how we feel internally and what we know internally. And I see that you are up against a lot. You feel us, you feel our separation, or you feel us unite, but you also have to be mindful of others. And I see that sometimes it's scary. Should I let this part be known to others? Should I not? I see the war inside of me. And I don't know. I just feel like you have a lot on your plate being the neutral representing all of us. And to some degree, I'm a little nervous that you may not represent us in the way that we all want to be represented sometimes, because we don't know what it's like to be fully in your neutral space, to be facing others with. Is it hard for you sometimes to give us what we need when it comes to others?
Yeah, it is. It's complex. I feel like no situation is just like the next. It's a case by case basis. And yeah, I kind of feel like a parent that's been trying to hold a family together and it's not working. Um, but I love both children, or that kind of thing.
Yeah, like you're
And
struggling to keep the stability.
yeah, that's why I feel so um relieved. Yeah, relieved that you two are actually able to start to understand each other.
Yeah,
Um,
but another nervous thing is like we are aware of each other internally, but what makes me nervous is maybe you may not represent that about us to others.
I don't know what you're wanting me to do. I'm just trying to do my best in each specific moment.
I'm not
What do you
wanting,
what do you want?
I don't want, I'm not wanting, I'm not saying this to want something out of you. I'm saying this because this is how I'm just naturally feeling.
Mhm.
Where sometimes you may forget that you have reached oneness. And sometimes when in your neutral self, when you forget that you are one and you have chosen that, it doesn't really help me to be stable in what I have become. I also need your help too. Just like I feel like the shadow self of us is helping us. Like I see how it's helping me because of this connection and working through it, that it gives me stability as oneness. But I also need your help to strengthen that oneness that we have decided to become. If you become wobbly with that which you have chosen, I can't hold strong in that space because I am you, you are me. We affect each other. And do you see how if that stability is not built, then it's hard for me to hold this space, and that gets shaky where the oneness that we've collected can start splitting again. And that means the part that we got on board today, like I don't want to hurt it again. I don't want to have them mistrust us again. I'm just worried that this oneness that we've found can be shaken up and split up again.
I understand. You actually just made me realize something that I actually have not been doing a good job at all. I told myself I was just doing the best I could in each moment, but now, what I realize is that I allowed each of you to come through in different moments, and it was fragmented. And you're right, I need to hold it together, but in
Or
a way where I honor both of you and both of your needs in each moment.
do you want to? Like, it's like you said it's hard sometimes to do that. So when it gets hard, like, what do you need to not break down? I want to understand you too, so that we can all help contribute, so you're not alone in your neutral state with us when it comes to
Mm,
like with other people.
that really hit me. Um, I feel like you just grew up. Like I don't see you as a child anymore. Yeah, I think we can be equals, and that's how we're gonna hold this together.
I like that. I always thought a newbie, but when you just said that, it made me feel like, oh yeah, I do feel like I've grown.
And I want to be included in that equalness too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So when we run into someone other than us, like to hold strong in that oneness that we've chosen for ourselves is to try to see the other person the way that we saw each other. But I also understand that the other person has free will to want to see it or not, just like the shadow part of us had the choice to want to see it or not. So I think that if we all communicated the way that we did and we do it for others, it's their choice to want to see it or not. It's not about forcing them or pressuring them. But it's
Yeah.
giving them the opportunity to gently want to see it with us or not. And if they say no, then it's like, that's okay. Because what we're choosing is to see the oneness. So allowing them to peacefully take their own journey, and we just keep moving on and connecting with more people who are wanting and choosing that.
Yeah. Your response is perfect. I think that's what we'll do.
And I feel like our shadow part today really helped us.
Thank you.
That help us like want to see the oneness in others, like not to forget, like this is how you talk to them. And if they still don't want it, then respectfully allow them to be. So I thank you, shadow part of us, for reminding us and showing us again how to connect with you. And thank you to the neutral part of us, because your willingness to give us the space to hold a safe container for us to have this dialogue with each other, conversation, to hash it out without really like controlling us to be a certain way. I feel like, I don't know, and you just help me see like how we could all be of each other.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for holding the intention of oneness, but not in a forceful way.
Yeah.
Every part is needed in the oneness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And valuable.
Yeah.
I feel happy with our arrangement. Do you?
Yeah. Feel really complete now. How about you, our shadow part? Do you not feel afraid to join us now?
Just feel safer knowing that there's a process to get me the support I need.
See? And are you aware that even if you join us, you are so safe to just be you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I realize it's like to just be me is also teaching you how to know how to be with me actually being me.
Yeah.
Mm.
See? This is where you get to see yourself and oneness together. Like
Yes,
the
with
separation
me
and
being
oneness.
truly myself, and then you also getting to be truly yourself.
Yes. And also the separation of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I see myself as like, yeah, others as myself as well too. So I have my own self and the oneness of the self of the collective.
I also see how in my loneliness,
Yeah.
like you trying to connect with me is also the same thing. Like
Oh,
I see it as like, oh no, it's not just you trying to be invasive, it's because you also want connection too, just as much
yeah,
as I want it.
you're so right. I do agree with you on that.
So I see how we are the same in that regard too.
Yeah.
And
If we could all pick a color, what color would you pick for yourself as separate? I choose pink.
orange or green.
I choose gray to honor all perspectives.
How about we all like visualize the gray, orange, green, and pink coming together with all of us in it as a representation of oneness and entering it into your heart space and allowing all of those colors to permeate throughout your body. Take all the time you need. Whenever you're ready to become your neutral self, you could take a deep breath and come back into your neutral reality.
No.
Wow, that was so different than the first of last week. I feel like it was more harmoniously integrated than last time, where it was like really needing to express it in that way. And not one is better than the other. And to see that they're both safe and good. How do you all feel?
Pretty peaceful.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
really.
Not torn anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. More stability. And it feels like it hits such a deep place of trust Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I agree.
safety and that trust. Yeah. That we all have each other's back in that support to go towards, I don't know, like that trust. Yeah. Something about the trust that feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, trust and safety.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if there's any downloads that come up after this, we'll eventually talk about it next time we meet. But is there any ahas that you guys want to share before we end this? Or I don't really have anything to share. Do you?
I just felt that, yeah, that was just a major key point about needing, yeah, what you provided for me, Sylvia, with that. Like, there's that just like shaky place in the transition of like, can I just let down my guard and have you hold that space for me?
Yeah. When I took on the collective of that oneness, it was a huge awakening to the oneness part of, oh, I see. Like it almost understood that this was the perfect timing because it felt like it needed to get to this place of oneness to be able to recognize what it is that you need and to provide that for you. Yeah, because it was such a space that could be so easily dismissed. Because it's like, oh yeah, get on board. But it's like, oh, but that transition is really crucial. It's going from something that you're so used to something so foreign, even though it's something you desire. Yeah. Kwonyin, are you frozen? Oh yeah, it is.
Mm.
She's frozen.
Oh, Kwonyin is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there you are. Sorry.
For a minute there, I was like, wait, is she frozen? Or is she just staying really still?
Mhm. Oh my God.
Yeah. And that was actually, for my neutral self, that was eye-opening for me. Because I can definitely say there are more times where I would want to find a solution to be like, all right, I want to see, which is not a bad thing, but I realize how it can turn into something that may not be helpful to the shadow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm going to gain more trust with that part of me when it does feel that way. Yeah.
You have to like, all it needs is the space to just let it on its own
Uh-huh.
be allowed to be how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw that.
That is the solution.
Yeah. That to be there in that space was allowing that part that you took on to genuinely be like, okay, now I'm ready to join genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like from that space, it's more of experiencing, like, for that part of us to get on board, it's like, oh, and to hold that space like that continuously means, oh, I feel like that shadow is the one that holds a lot of trust energy. That it can provide a lot of trust energy.
Mm-hmm.
That stability and that trust. Because if it starts to gain trust with that part, it's going to believe and trust in that way. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think
Okay.
we all did surrender to the oneness. I mean, I guess we'll see,
Yeah.
but it felt like it was fully completed, especially with the colors. Thank you for
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
directing us to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I recognized was you were the empowerment and the light of the light and the shadow when you were revealing that out loud.
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
You, Kwonyin, when you were taking on the collective of the
oh,
shadow, you are actually the oneness of the light and the shadow when you were speaking from your perspective. And you were
oh,
actually the abundance when you were speaking from that perspective.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
this
I
is
guess
it.
we'll just see how we feel in the next days.
Yeah, how it progresses and then
Effective.
update if needed
Yeah.
next week.
Mhm.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Wow.